Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us on our very first live stream of Civilization Beyond Earth. My name is Pete Murray. I'm here at Firaxis Games, and with me in the studio is our producer, Kevin Schultz. And on behalf of the Beyond Earth team, thank you for joining us. We're really excited to be able to show off the game today. This is our first opportunity to show off Beyond Earth on a live stream, and what we thought we would focus on today is a little bit about how the aliens in Beyond Earth operate. One of the things we found in showing off this game to people as they play is that people kind of need to think about the aliens a little bit differently than the barbarians in Civ 5. In Civ 5, the barbarians are there and they're really just kind of a speed bump in the game. They're a bit of a threat early on as you're trying to expand your civilization. They're really annoying in that they can capture workers or drag people off when you're not expecting them. The city-states want you to go after them. In Beyond Earth, they're actually a faction unto themselves. They're controlled by an AI that is sort of paying attention to them and all of the humans on the world. So the aliens have an attitude towards your faction. They have an attitude towards the other factions throughout the world. And if somebody starts aggravating the aliens, then the aliens become more aggressive, not only towards the people who are attacking them, but all of the humans on the planet. So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to run through an early game two separate ways. The first time we play, we're going to go in guns blazing, and we're going to treat these aliens like they're those barbarians from Civ 5, the things that you whack on to farm for early game honor and experience, and then we're going to play them as if they're their own faction. We're going to let them kind of do their own thing, and we're going to focus more on expanding out in the early game itself. Sound good? All right, well, let's go ahead and we're jumping into our game right now. So let me give you a little bit of context for this setup here. So we're playing as Brasilia today. Brasilia is one of the factions in Beyond Earth. Their unique feature is that they get bonuses to their combat ability. I believe it's plus 10% for melee combat units right now. When we created our expedition, I chose to bring a weapons cache, which has started me with this Marine unit that's highlighted here. Normally, you don't just automatically start with this guy. You can also potentially bring along a worker as well, or some other benefits for buildings for your capital city. So I've also chosen our settlers as scientists because science is really kind of the engine that drives everything. I'm also hoping it will get us to better guns as we go throughout this demo today. So we'll go ahead and we will kick off by choosing some research. And here is the tech web that we've talked so much about up to this point. We've already discovered the habitation technology that allows us to settle on alien worlds. This has two leaf texts underneath it, pioneering and planetary survey. But what I'm interested right now is the one that's being recommended by my science advisor, and that's physics. And the reason is that will give me the Ranger, the very first ranged infantry unit in the game. So I think that'll be very helpful for killing bugs. So we'll go ahead and choose that. And we have to choose production in our first city. And because we are here to make a lasting impression on the wildlife of this planet, we're going to build another soldier. All right. So let's start out exploring our world. The explorer here, we'll send him out. He moves too. He doesn't get affected by the terrain. Our Marines do. They're a little bit slower. They're a little bit more plodding. We'll go ahead and continue off to the northeast here. We're just going to... This is interesting.
How may the corporation serve you?
Okay, so Suzanne Fielding of the American Reclamation Corporation's just made Planetfall. She's just let us know that she's there. I really don't have anything that I want to discuss with her right now. We'll just dismiss her from now. And as the different factions make Planetfall in Beyond Earth, they'll contact you just to let you know that they've arrived and they're in the neighborhood. And if you want to stop by and say hi at some point, that would be great. And indeed it is. All right, so we'll go ahead and continue exploring here. Keep moving my explorer up. And there's our first alien nest. Okay, so we've discovered an alien nest. We can clear that out if we need to. That's probably what will make our first sort of short-term objective. All right, and the aliens are coming out swinging at us. So what we'll do is we'll send our explorer off in the direction of that cargo pod there. I really don't want to hang around too much here. I do get the bonus for being up on the hills. I could go over to that copper tile there, but I don't know. A lot of choices here. You know what? Even if I stay in the zone of control, I'll be able to last another turn. Oh, there's another alien. That's the sea dragon out there. So he's a naval alien that can be a real pain, especially if they're chomping on your trade routes at sea. One of the reasons the aliens are a little bit touchy about this is because that is their nest right there. So we're going to need to clear that out in the short term. Keep moving our things over. And it looks like we can take a shot at the city of Cittadella. So if I were to treat this sea dragon like a, say a barbarian boat, I would go ahead and shoot that without remorse. Oh, this is cool. So we've discovered this resource pod sent by the people of Earth ahead of us. We've learned that it contains a basic satellite still intact with enough fuel for it to get to orbit, and we have a free solar collector to launch in the city of Cittadella. So this is great. This lets us show off the orbital layer. We can actually zoom in a little bit, and you can see the rocket on the launch pad in Cittadella. So I will go ahead and choose that. Yes, I'm being attacked. So let's pop up to the orbital layer for a second here. You can see the view changes. We can see the tiles where we're able to launch this satellite, and a solar collector increases the energy yields of the tiles beneath it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're just going to launch it directly over our city itself because we're still very small. We'll at least get that energy yield bonus in our capital itself, and then for those first few tiles we'll get a chance to take advantage of that energy yield as well. So if we go back to Cittadella for a second, and bring the orbital layer back up, you can see there's our satellite. Pretty cool. All right, so our explorer, we'll go ahead and we'll let him fortify. That's the end of that turn. We're going to go ahead and continue. And let's see. Okay, another wolf beetle unit's come down and joined. That wolf beetle unit's retreated back to the nest. We'll go ahead and take this opportunity to bring the Marines in. What's happening now? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to need to clear these guys out. Our ultimate objective, remember, is to go ahead and take out this nest. And the wolf beetles aren't quite as tough as our Marines are. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to shoot this guy up a bit. Oh. So I should mention, if you just saw that the version of the game we're using was actually, it's a couple weeks old at this point. And the team is working hard and the game is looking really, really fantastic. But this build was created shortly after our beta. So the game's getting a lot more stable as it goes on, and we're seeing fewer Marines run in place these days. So that's very exciting. Get off my lawn, Sea Dragon. So we bombarded him. Let's see if we come back here. He's taking his turn. Let's get this explorer out of here. He's too valuable to let him try to go toe-to-toe with a wolf beetle unit. That's just a recipe for disaster. All right, looks like we'll be able to clear this wolf beetle out right away. You know, this wouldn't be a bad spot to settle a city in the future. It's a little close, but it's got some hill tiles that'll give it some production. That's a fruit resource right there, so that's potentially useful for food. And there's an algae resource off the coast as well. So, yeah, potentially a lot of good food, a lot of growth opportunity there in the city itself. Who needs orders? You need orders. We're going to go ahead and we're going to have you come up here just to make sure nobody's sneaking up on us to the side. So ending your turn outside of an alien nest is definitely, the aliens are going to perceive that as a very aggressive move. They know that you're there to clear out the nest. They're not going to let you get away with that. They're going to make you pay for it. So what I should do is, first of all, I should choose a veterancy for this guy. You've only got a limited number of promotions. You know, burning one of them to immediately recover hit points always feels like it's a tough choice. But you know, we're right there on the cusp, and if I rush and clear this nest, I'll get some energy potentially. So I'll go ahead and I'll heal these guys up. We'll go ahead and we'll take the minor victory. Even if I had taken Season, and if I had been able to clean out that nest, my unit would have been so damaged that it would have ended its turn in miasma. Miasma is an environmental hazard that damages your units if they end their turn within it. And so potentially, I could have lost that unit even after I'd cleared the alien nest. So that's something I want to keep in mind. All right, go ahead and take our next turn. So right now, this feels pretty good, right? You know, I'm kind of whacking on these wolf beetles, and I'm getting some experience for it and getting some veterancy. Oh, brought another unit online. We'll bring him over and have him start helping out. We're going to go ahead and we're going to clear this nest. So we've destroyed a teeming alien nest and recovered 40 energy from it in the form of volatile hydrocarbons, I presume. We're going to go ahead and choose new production. Don't want to pick another soldier. Well, I feel pretty good right now. I got 2 soldiers going. I'm going to go ahead and pick Old Earth Relic. Maybe I can start getting into... oh, I got a quest decision. Okay, the indigenous species of these planets may pose a threat to our growth. I agree. Though we cannot determine their intelligence, their hostility has been documented. Moving forward, we must decide how to deal with them. Do we attempt to domesticate the local wildlife or exterminate them? Now, this quest decision starts to impact things later on through the game. Depending on which choice we make, we start to gain levels towards one of our affinities. And affinities are another feature for Beyond Earth. They represent sort of these competing visions for the future of humanity. We're going to eradicate the wildlife because we came here to make the world safe for humanity, not raise cattle. So we're going to go ahead and wipe them out. That's given us points towards the purity affinity. And purity is the belief that humanity is sort of good in and of itself, that it doesn't need to change itself in order to be essentially human. That we need to sort of remember what it is to be a human, to keep in mind what we've left behind on Earth and what we're ultimately working towards in the future. One of the things we believe in clearly is sinking sea dragons, because that feels pretty good. Now we've got another, looks like we've discovered another resource pod up here. This Marine's wounded. On this next turn, probably what I'll do is I'll start healing him up. That'll give that guy time to catch up with him. So we'll go ahead and we'll heal up the soldier for a couple of turns, and we'll bring in the relief crew. So let's see what's over here. This is Resolin. That's another resource that you can find. Oh, an alien hive. Oh, and there's nobody in it. That's fantastic. So we'll go ahead and we'll start to converge on this. And we'll go ahead and clear it out right away. All right, so we've had a pretty good opening so far. I'm going to go ahead. Looks like we've explored this peninsula fully. Well, maybe not fully, but enough that I'm comfortable with where we are right now. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll give these guys the orders to back off for a little bit, right after they recover that resource pod. Extra energy. We're swimming in energy over here. So because we've got all of this bonus energy, we can go ahead and we can make a purchase if we want to. We could get an explorer. We could get that Old Earth relic that we're in the process of building right now. I'm actually going to go ahead and pick an explorer, and we'll send him out this side on the map to start taking a look. All right, so our city's grown. We've developed some culture. We're going to go ahead and pick a virtue for our people. This is the new virtue system. It's very similar to the social policies that are in Civ 5. There are a couple of differences here. We have, not only do we have these sort of synergy bonuses for going deep within a particular tree, so we also have these sort of breadth bonuses as well too. In Civ 5, there's very much an opportunity cost associated with spreading yourself out across multiple policy trees. And the designers, when they were building Beyond Earth, they looked at that and they said, well, we want to let people feel like they can find some interesting strategies by going across the different approaches. So we'll go ahead and put in these synergy kickers like this one. This first one lets you choose a free virtue if you have done it across multiple trees. Later on, you start to get bonuses. They get pretty impressive. So there's less of an opportunity cost about going across multiple virtue directions. We're going to pick survivalism because shooting aliens is lots of fun. And we're going to go ahead and continue. All right, our explorer is ready to go out into the world. We're going to send him over this way. This explorer is getting better. We're going to bring him back. All right, let's start retreating our Marines off the coastline a bit. And time for new production in the city. Let's build another soldier, because we haven't seen enough of this planet.
Consider a simple problem, such as navigation in a spaceship approaching light speed.
And we've just completed our research into physics. We can now construct the Ranger unit. We could also build an observatory, which gives us a bonus from Firaxite as well, which is cool because we do have that. A launch complex, which increases the range of tiles where we can launch a satellite out towards. And we get extra production from quarry improvement. So all very good stuff. Ooh, there's another resource pod. I'm actually going to send this explorer down to the south, and I'm going to let this tailing explorer go pick that one up. So I'll just tell him, you know, go over there in your own good time and let me know what you find. Okay, thanks. That's cool. All right, so we're back in the tech web. We're looking for technologies that we can research. Looks like we've got a couple different directions we could go. Engineering's a good one, because not only does it reveal titanium and give us a building that allows us to increase production for our land units, we can also, say, build a combat rover. That would be pretty cool. Let's go ahead and we'll do that. And we're ready to continue. Okay, we're continuing to send our explorers south. Again, so much of this early game, like Civ 5, is devoted to the process of figuring out what's in the world with you, you know, what you can do to make life easier for yourself. I haven't built a worker yet. Now at population 3, okay, we've just run into a new alien unit. Well, what I want to point out is his icon color right here. See, an alien wolf beetle. Previously, when we were running into them, the alien was black shield with kind of a green icon. And now what we're seeing is that this is actually an orangey color. This means that the aliens are becoming more aggressive towards us. So because my explorer is not a combat guy, I'm going to back him up so he gets some protection from them. And I'm going to start bringing the Marines down to take a look. Let's back out a little bit. We'll go ahead and we'll continue. And remember, the aliens are probably not real happy with us because we have been going around and we've been whacking everything we can see. We've cleared out 2 nests already. We've been shooting those sea dragons as they come in out of the ocean. And just as a reminder, if you're just joining us, we're watching Civilization Beyond Earth. And what we're doing in today's demo is we're showing what happens when you fight aliens, when you make it a point to treat the aliens the way you would the barbarians in Civilization 5 by aggressively seeking them out and fighting them. Versus what can happen when you try to pursue a little bit of a cleaner coexistence with them. So, all right, we've got this guy exploring. We'll bring him back. We'll use him as an early warning unit just in case anybody starts coming up that coastline. Okay, we've got another virtue we're ready to develop. So we could pick adaptive tactics, which gives us even more experience from combat. Or one of my favorite techs is called scavenging, which gives you science from killing aliens. You get 100% of an alien's life form strength as science after you kill it, and 35 science from destroying an alien nest. So I like the sound of that. We'll go ahead and we'll pick that virtue. We'll go ahead and we'll continue. All right, let's go ahead and we'll keep moving this guy south. We're starting to see some miasma down there, and we're getting a little bit of attrition from some units right there. So from passing through miasma, so I need to be careful about that. All right, we'll leave him there. We'll let him heal up for a bit. Go ahead and continue. Okay, Daoming Sochua of the Pan-Asian Cooperative has just landed. She's letting us know that she's there. Leaders will potentially land at different times during the course of it. That's always very exciting, especially if you have very carefully developed plans for moving into a territory and then they turn out and drop a spaceship right where you were planning to go. Not that I've ever had that happen to me, and consequently going to war with somebody. We're ready to pick a new virtue. I'm going to go ahead and choose adaptive tactics for that. Experience bonus. We're working our way through the might tree now. Looks like we're building a very, very militant Brasilia, which is pretty cool. We are Space Attila right now. Oh, there's a resource pod over there. Oh, look at that. It's just across the ocean. If I had chosen planetary survey instead of engineering, we'd be so close to getting the ability to embark units and sail across the ocean, but I went for engineering instead because I wanted combat rovers. Looks like we've just finished building our next unit in the city. I would like to build a ranger because we spent so much time working towards that. This guy's ready to go. Yeah, we're going to have to heal up in a bit because we're having to pass through these miasma tiles. But we now have 3 marine units that we can use to sweep the territory, which is pretty good.
Instruct the children not to dream of toys or sweets. Instruct them to dream of infrastructure.
All right. So we've just researched engineering. We're ready to go with that. So now we can build combat rovers. Oh, there's more of those aggressive wolf beetles. There must be a nest down here. There's usually a few, once you start spanning out a bit from your cities, you can usually find a couple of nests. Take a look to see what tech we should research next. I feel like, well, now's probably a good time. Culture Advisor recommends planetary survey. It would allow us to build a work barge, which we don't need right away. We could go with pioneering for the trade convoy and the trade vessel, the trade depot, and also the colonist. So yeah, this brings up another interesting point. In Beyond Earth, you don't begin with the ability to produce settlers. It's a technology you have to research, pioneering. The reason for that is that represents more the knowledge of needing to learn how to build the tools for settling, what do you call it, a new colony on the colony itself without the industrial infrastructure of Earth. When you think about how established our cities are and our industrial infrastructure, if you were to land on a new world, you wouldn't have any of that. You'd have to learn how to build it from scratch. And that's basically what some of these early techs represent, is the ability to get that Earth-level technology for yourself. There's also computing, which would let us build a gunboat, a spy agency, and a network, and the missile rover. Well, I think I'll shoot for computing now. Again, we're not really planning to play this save out completely. We're more planning to make a statement about who we are in this environment. We'll go ahead and we'll continue. Don't want to leave him in miasma. Okay, there are those very aggressive wolf beetles. We'll try to take that one out. So at this point in the game, we're at turn 20. We've got 3 marine units that are tramping their way around the planet. We've got 2 explorers. We're sort of using them as a combined arms force right now, looking for alien nests to clear out, because we have a bone to pick with the wildlife. Oh, we've got a quest decision. Okay, new ventures have established themselves in our colony, and the people are very interested in establishing a new outpost near us. Outposts are kind of like these super tile improvements or little city-states, and by establishing trade routes with them, you can get bonuses. And we've got 2 different choices. Palatine is an elite resort and retreat operation that does holistic cognitive emotional renewal. So if we were to establish that, that would potentially give us some energy or some culture bonus. New Babylon develops self-sustaining biospheres for consumer use and create closed energy systems and luxury habitation. So I think I'm going to approve New Babylon because that sounds useful for me. Now New Babylon will be on the map, and they will provide 4 culture to anybody who establishes a trade route with them. And it looks like they're right down that mountain pass right there. These outposts can also be attacked by aliens as well too, or other factions, which is very, very interesting. So we'll go ahead and, oh, I didn't see those guys there. I should not have gone that far. Well, that's all right. We'll send our Marines around real quick. Let's get, okay, we were damaged by miasma there. I'm gonna go ahead and retreat this guy out, and we'll send in the Marines. We'll have this guy start to heal up, and we will send. Yeah, I can't move on top of my own guy. Way to jam it up, Poindexter. Okay, we'll just let everybody heal up for a turn here. He doesn't need it. He needs orders. Yeah, you need orders. Okay. We've got an expedition site here. I'll pop back to that on next turn and discuss it in a little bit more detail. Okay, so your explorers, not only are they useful for going out and doing reconnaissance in the territory around you, they have the ability to conduct expeditions. Expeditions are investigations into the planet and its past history or interesting artifacts that are on the surface of it. In this case, we've discovered a crashed satellite. And by using our Explorer's Expedition module, which will take us 10 turns to investigate, when it's done, we'll get a bonus of some kind. It's a little bit like archaeology in Civ 5, but the breadth of rewards is pretty impressive. And there's all kinds of things you can research on the planet, ranging from giant alien skeletons to these, crashed satellites to even abandoned settlements, remnants of seeding operations that went badly before you landed on the planet itself. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell this explorer to start following on behind us. A little bit. Next turn. And we'll just have the explorer come up behind. What's interesting is it's gotten very quiet. Okay, just because I said that, it got too quiet, and now we're ready to go. So we'll go ahead and we will fight this wolf beetle here. There's our ranger, our ranged combat units up online. We'll bring him out. We need to choose production now. I want to choose a combat rover. And we're being asked to make another quest decision now. That old Earth relic we brought with us, do we leave it untouched, which will reduce its maintenance cost in our city, or do we open it up to the public? In this case, I want to open it up to the public. I've got plenty of energy. That bonus culture from it, it'll give us an extra culture each turn. That'll be pretty useful as well, too. All right, so we're going to go ahead and see who else needs orders. Let's see, our explorer needs orders. All right, because we didn't move it all out. You know what? You just heal up for a turn. There's a bit of a logjam there, but I've got my strongest unit in front, and this way he can shoot bugs for a fantastic veterancy bonus. And you notice now we're, between those virtues we've chosen and shooting these guys up, we're doing pretty well. I don't think I want to end a turn at less than half strength in a miasma tile. That's probably bad. That wolf beetle will attack me. I'm just going to go ahead and let him keep doing his thing. That's fine, wolf beetle. I'll just fortify right here until it's done. Have our explorer stay put. Our rangers are working their way down now. Oh, it retreated. See? See, it was afraid of us. We'll just bring the whole column down here. A little bit like that scene from Avatar. All these Marines. Okay. And we're going to get this turn. Yep. We finished him off. It was close, but feels good, man. All right, so keep bringing our guys down. So I'm sure somebody's asking what difficulty I'm playing on. I'm actually playing on the second easiest difficulty in the game, mostly for demonstration purposes. Also because I'm a little bit scared of what happens when you crank up the difficulty on this. Time for a new virtue. When conquering an enemy outpost, automatically found an outpost of your own in its place. That's very useful later on in the game if you have an aggressive opponent near you. You can basically flip his settlements by by blowing them up early on. Instead, I'm going to choose military industrial complex, which gives me 15% production towards military units. One more might virtue, and I get another synergy bonus for that, which is pretty awesome. Go ahead and pick that. Okay, unit needs orders. You're pretty badly damaged. Go ahead and heal up. We're going to go ahead and we're going to send in the rest of the team to start to follow up on this. This Marine's now healed up. We'll send him back. Come our Rangers. Rangers, you come on down as well. I believe the next alien nest should be situated down this way. Oh, you have discovered a spare station. 3 food and 1 culture to any city that establishes a trade route to them. Fantastic, another potential trading partner. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. All right, looks like our combat rover's ready to go. I could continue to push my military strength more, but I'm feeling pretty good about it right now. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to start building a worker. It's finally about time we started to put a worker into use on this. Combat rover, you can come on out. Okay. Now, we've got another expedition site potentially. It looks like we're clear on this end. All right, so let's take a second and let's just recap what all we've gone through. If you're just joining us now, thank you very much for joining us on this live stream of Civilization Beyond Earth. What we're doing today is we're talking a little bit about aliens and how they're not exactly the barbarians from Civ 5. Although you do get bonuses from clearing out their nests, and you can gain experience by killing them with your units. If you continue to do so, then all of the wildlife on the planet becomes progressively more hostile towards you. And what's going to happen is very quickly you're going to find yourself over your head trying to deal with siege worms before you're ready to, as they start taking you out. Actually, right now, in the world somewhere, there will be generating raptors. Raptors are pretty nasty in the sense that they try to go after units that are not frontline combat units. They'll hit your trade routes. They'll hit your workers, specifically seeking them out over military units, whereas the wolf beetles will tend to favor those. So it's really something that you have to kind of watch and be careful with. We've spent a lot of time in this first. How many turns have we played at this point? Quite a few, 32 turns, focusing on getting our combat capabilities up and as robust as possible. We've actually lost a lot of opportunities potentially to expand as well. Those alien nests that we saw at the beginning were relatively close to our city, but let's see what happens now if we take a more peaceful approach, where we focus more on kind of ensuring the survival of our colony and maybe not being quite as aggressive towards the wildlife this time around. So what do you say we restart and we see how we're going from there? So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to reload the game in just a second here. I want to thank you for tuning in with us. Really appreciate it. We're really excited about live streaming Beyond Earth for the first time. I hope this is information you guys enjoy, that you like seeing. We're going to do more of these live streams of Beyond Earth later on. We'll start to dive into some different systems aside from the aliens. We'll look in more depth at some of the things that we're touching on in a very brief way in this demo. All right, so I've restarted our game. We are right back where we were the first time around. I do know there are some resource pods in that corner of the universe where we went earlier, and I do think I do want to go out there after them shortly, but we're going to take a different approach to it this time. What I'm going to do is we're going to start picking a technology this time, and I'm going to pick the tech I normally lead off with, which is pioneering, simply because not only is it useful to build your colonists from the get-go, the trade depot is a really fantastic building. The ability to create trade routes in your cities, to expand out to those stations, make those trade routes especially valuable. So you're going to see some of the same things happen that we saw in the last playthrough. You're going to see people drop in through the course of the play. I think fielding will show up at the end of this turn, and we will proceed in a much more peaceful way, trying not to antagonize the aliens this time around. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick Old Earth Relic, because I want to get my virtues up and running as fast as possible.
How may the corporation serve you?
So there's Suzanne Fielding again. Hello to you again. It's a good thing she's actually on the opposite corner of the world, because ARC is pretty expansive in terms of what they do. So, all right, there's that alien hive. If this goes the way it did the last game, which we have every reason to believe it should, the aliens will come out and attack us. But this time I'll show what happens when you take a more like softer step towards the aliens. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move away from the nest. I'm going to bring my guy back up. He's got an additional move. Just stay over here. There are those sea dragons again, out to sea. And notice this time the aliens didn't follow up on us. Because we moved away from the nest, because they don't perceive us as a threat anymore, they're not continuing to go after that explorer. That explorer is free to go after that resource pod. Again, we're going to get a solar collector satellite for the city of Citadella, so we will go ahead and do that. And I am not, I repeat, not going to attack the sea dragon this time. All right, solar collector, I'm going to put you in orbit right over the city. And I know there's a resource pod up there. Marine may not be the best unit to do it, to clear it out with, especially if there are hives up there. So I'm going to take my illegally gained knowledge and play it a little bit more cautious this time. So you saw the aliens did come off the nest. We'll just actually stay here a little bit, and you'll see they'll roam around, but they won't be moving aggressively towards you. They'll be sort of patrolling across the landscape. See, they're more worried about what's coming to attack them, and if we just kind of keep an eye on them, they're not going to be a threat towards us. And the advantage to this is buying us the time that we need in order to build up our colony into something stronger. So when those outposts start to appear, we can do something about that. Old Earth Relic's going to be ready in 1 turn. City's growing to population 2. Probably queue up another explorer after this, followed by a worker. All right, production's ready. Let's get another explorer going. We'll send him off in a different direction. We'll continue to use our Marine as an ad hoc explorer. That's still a pretty good spot. I still think up in this corner here, from what I remember from the last playthrough, that was a pretty good spot to go and potentially build our next settlement. Okay, we're ready for virtue. Let's pick a different line this time. Might obviously is about increasing the strength of your military units, but one of the ones that's pretty good is knowledge. Knowledge is about increasing the yields for both science and culture. And what's cool is you get into this really positive feedback loop with it. I'm going to choose foresight, which gives you plus 10% science while your population is healthy, which sounds pretty good to me. I've already brought some scientists with me, so that's already capitalizing on a strength that I have going for me already. Send the explorer over this way. There's that next resource pod. That's fantastic. Send this guy down this way. What was in that resource pod? Okay, we got 40 energy for exploring that resource pod. That's pretty cool. This time I think I'll push up a little bit more. I see there's a lot of miasma. There's a lot of, oh, it's just that peninsula. Just a little tiny, a little bit more, and I could have searched out that end of the map. Okay, time for a worker. Everybody's saying time to build a worker. I agree. We've got 2 fruit tiles south of here. Clearing out those forests would also give me some hammers, some production that I could use towards my city itself. We've got a 2-yield Firaxite right next to our city, but we also have this basalt tile, which is pretty handy to have too. So I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll keep exploring down here. We do need that 3rd resource pod in order to complete our quest called Gifts from Home. ahead and send our explorer down to help out.
The universe is either in progress or in entropy. We choose progress.
All right, so we've just completed pioneering. We're ready to choose a new tech. In this case, let's go over here. Our military advisor is recommending ecology because what it gives us is a satellite called the miasmic repulsor, which is capable of clearing out miasma from tiles. The vivarium, which is very useful. It gives you 2 food, but it also increases the food yield from desert. So if you start on an arid world or a planet that has a lot of desert, that's definitely something you're going to want to move on pretty quickly. The ultrasonic fence is an interesting building. What that does is that keeps aliens from coming within 2 tiles of the city. If you have a problem with siege worms, that's usually a tech that you come back and research pretty quickly. I like this ecology because the leaf techs underneath it are geophysics, which allow you to uncover geothermal resources on the map and then build a geothermal well. And I also like alien ecology because it allows you to clear miasma and it protects your worker units from taking damage in miasma, which is pretty handy as well too. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start on ecology. We'll keep going there. There's that wolf beetle from earlier. Now our marine is next to him. Wolf beetles are going to perceive marines and explorers as different levels of threat. Let's see if he attacks our marine. Oh, unit needs orders. You come this way. And next turn. Notice that wolf beetle didn't automatically attack our marine. It kind of retreated, and the reason is we haven't antagonized the aliens this time. We haven't gotten into a fight that we could have survived, but wouldn't have done us any favors. So they're definitely not barbarians. It's hard to think of a barbarian unit in Civ that would have backed off from an opportunity like that. Okay, the knowledge tree has some additional ones. We're ready to choose a new virtue. Social mores increases the culture yield in a city based on population. You get 1/4 of a culture for every person. Or we could earn 50 science from finishing expeditions, which is a pretty cool tech. That does consume, that those expedition modules on your explorers do get consumed. So it's like not only does each explorer give you the yield from the expedition, but you get 50 science on top of it too. That's pretty good because right now both of our explorers have their expedition modules intact. So when we find a crashed satellite or something or an alien ruin, we're going to be able to go ahead and we're going to be able to make the most of that. I know there's an alien down that side. I don't think I want to go that way. Go ahead and continue this way. And there's that alien. There's that wolf beetle again. I do need to come down a little bit. I'll risk the miasma. There's that crashed satellite that we saw earlier. And we're going to go ahead and continue. You know what? I should have remembered that was there, and I probably should have researched planetary survey for the embarkation bonus and picked that up. That would have been pretty cool. So if you're just joining us, we're playing Civilization Beyond Earth. We're looking at what happens when you take different approaches to the wildlife and how that can affect the beginning of your game. We're looking a little bit about how you expand out and some of the basic systems in Beyond Earth and how they differ from Civ 5. In future live streams, we'll be going into a lot more detail on these specific systems themselves. We'll look at some later game stuff. We'll try playing the same save through over multiple turns. We'll look at the development of our culture over time. It's pretty cool to watch the sea dragons go by when you're not provoking them. That always feels pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and continue here. All right. So we've discovered most of the limits of our little island start here. It's an odd kind of place to begin the game. A very narrow, thin island shape. We do have a land peninsula off in this direction, but I'm not sure how far that goes. A surveillance satellite would be really, really handy at this point. So we might be hemmed in a little bit in the future. So I think we're going to have to research kind of a sea technology or a sea-based technology sooner rather than later. We'll start bringing this explorer back. Maybe we'll come across a new site serendipitously. Those wolf beetles again. I'm actually going to back my soldier up a little bit, and we'll start this expedition on that site. We'll go ahead and we'll continue down this way. What's going on back at Citadella? We should be just pretty close. Yeah, one turn away from our worker unit. Can start him going. So I chose one very specific start for the beginning of this game. I picked a very militantly focused start. If you're much more of a builder, you can choose to bring engineers, which increase the production yields. Hi, Daming. How are you? We'll talk to you later. Engineers will increase the production in your cities. There are artists who will increase the culture, aristocrats who will raise the energy within each city that you build. Scientists were the ones that I brought on this one. You can bring a worker unit, or potentially there's even an option to forgo bringing a unit with you and start with an extra population in your city. That's kind of a cool option too. Going to go ahead and build that trade depot. All right, our worker's ready to go. Oh wait, I've got my soldier selected. Let's just cancel that for a second. Ooh. Sorry, there's my satellite again. Oh, no, do not delete the unit. I'm very sorry. Keep moving things on me. All right, you fortify until you heal. You can go this way. All right, there's my worker. That's what I wanted. You come over here, and you're going to start constructing a quarry, and that will, not only will I be getting 1 energy out of that tile from the solar collector that's overhead, I'll be getting additional production out of it as well too. So that's going to be very helpful for me. So as you can see, not having to fight every alien that comes across the map means that we can spend more time exploring, more of an opportunity to kind of take a bit of time and establish the infrastructure within our cities themselves. So now on turn 20, as you can see, we're already starting to put tile improvements down outside of our cities. We've got some different techs researched. We're building a trade depot, so when we're prompted through a quest decision to establish an outpost near us, we'll be ready to receive them. We'll be ready to start conducting trade with them. We've got some different directions that we can go. Hopefully in the future we can talk a little bit more about the great naval game, embarking, going off and exploring some different continents and things like that. So I hope this insight into Beyond Earth has been interesting to you. I hope you've gotten to see some things, maybe gotten some question answered. I hope in the future as we do more of these live streams, we'll be able to address more of your questions. And I hope you guys are as excited about Beyond Earth coming out as we are. We're so close. Our release date is October 24th of this year. It's an international release date. Everybody gets it on Friday, which is amazing. That's really, really cool for us. So it's coming soon, almost here. We're going to be at Gamescom next week, so there won't be a live stream. So if you are in Germany, I hope you guys get a chance to come over to Cologne. There will be a presentation of Beyond Earth at the 2K booth. It'll be a video that you'll be able to see some late game stuff. We've got some very, very cool things to show off in the course of that as well too. So thank you very much for tuning into our stream today. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at Firaxis Games. You can follow me. It's at FXS Pete Murray. And I appreciate you taking the time to view this. I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for watching.